Hello friends, in this video we are going to learn about how to answer for a higher band score for IELTS writing. So firstly we have this question that is, some people think cities are the best places to live, others prefer to live in rural areas. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. So the first step is to identify like which essay type it is. So this is discuss both views and give your own opinion. So today in this video, I am going to share the structure of the essay, like how to write an essay, which connectors or linking words we have to use. First one is the intro one. So in intro, the main thing is to paraphrase. Paraphrase is like how we are going to change the question in such a way that the meaning remains the same. So this accounts for the highest score in the intro, like how we are changing the question and which opinion we are on the side. So firstly, we have to paraphrase. And for paraphrase today, I'll be telling you the strategies how to paraphrase the question. And for different question sets, like as this is a discuss both views, so today we have to paraphrase this. And for paraphrasing, we have the first word is some people. So here we will write few people, or you can write individuals. Most of the students commit one mistake, that they think that if in writing we can't repeat the words again and again, but yes, for people and individuals you can repeat. Avoid writing masses, okay, dwellers, these kind of words should not be used in the writing. So for this, some people, we have few people or individuals, or we can say certain individuals. Here, as you know, that there are two views. So this is, some people think cities are the best places to live. This is your first view. And others prefer to live in rural areas. This is your second view. And we have to discuss both the views and afterwards give your opinion. So please note guys, like we have to give our opinion only in intro and conclusion, right? So the opinion will only come in intro as well as your conclusion. And what is more, like whichever side you are supporting, please note that in intro it should be the same and in conclusion also it should be the same. If you are supporting like living in the cities is better, so don't write although living in rural areas is beneficial. No, it will contradict your view. So we have to give the same opinion in intro and conclusion. If you're supporting the city side, so we will support city only. Here also city, right? So now let's move to again how we are going to paraphrase. So firstly, for some people we have this or we have this. Afterwards, for think, there are so many words that we can use for think. So for think, we will say deem. We can also write opine as well as believe, right? Afterwards, best places to live. For best, the word is ideal, or it could be optimum, or it could be beneficial. We are changing with one word and word, like for people we used certain individuals. For think we have used deem, opine or believe. Then for best we have ideal place, optimum or beneficial. Then for others prefer to, whenever we have to contradict, like we are opposing, now we have to write this side. So for others, here we will use while. Okay, so these are some of the key points like you can make while writing in the intro. Then we are going to change the whole intro. Now afterwards we will give our opinion. After changing the words, like using the synonyms, we are going to paraphrase the whole line up to here. So let's start. So for some people we are writing few individuals. For think, I have selected deem, that living in. For cities we can use urban areas, that living in urban areas is beneficial. Like for best I have used beneficial. And for think, I have used deem. And now, okay, so urban areas is beneficial. Few individuals deem that living in urban areas is beneficial. And next, here it is a full stop. We will avoid this and we'll write while. And always remember no comma after while and whereas. So, while others so prefer to live in rural areas. So, for this, we will write while others believe residing for living. Now as you know, we can't repeat the words, so for living it's residing in rural areas. Like you know, the intro is now too short, so rural areas we have to add some more words, like believe residing in rural areas is a better choice. So sometimes we are short of words, so what we have to do is like we can add a little bit of words that we know to paraphrase the question in a good way. Okay, so in this way we have paraphrased here, like up to here we have paraphrased. So now it's discuss both views and give your own opinion. As you know, both views means first view and your second view. So the first view is explained in body paragraph 1 and the second view goes in body paragraph second. But now give your opinion. So you have to state your opinion, and for opinion, as I already told you, opinion always come in intro and conclusion, and your opinion should also match. Okay, so here I'm going to select one, like either select living in urban areas or you can select living in rural areas. So it's up to you. So I am selecting urban areas. So I'll be giving the opinion like I support the idea of living in cities because it offers multiple career prospects. Okay, so in this way we have to change the question in the intro part, and as you can see, some students use this essay will discuss both the perspectives or the views and my opinion in the upcoming paragraphs. But this is the mistake. You have to state your opinion in intro. You have to clearly mention which state you are, which opinion you are on the side. Okay, so which view you are supporting. I am supporting the idea of living in the cities. And afterwards, I'm also mentioning, always write because it offers multiple career prospects. One of the benefit you can mention here. Okay, this is the one way to give the opinion. What is the second way to give the opinion? Like either you can write I support the idea of living in cities because it offers multiple career prospects, or you can state and discuss both views. I support the former view. So here the former view is of living in cities. Former view of living in, now I'm changing urban settings. So urban settings is also the synonym for urban areas. Urban settings. So for this, you can get more than 6.5 or 6.5 score, like when we change urban areas or when we use some different words. So I support the former view of living in urban settings because of the multiple career prospects to whom it offers. It offers to individuals. So like this. So if you are supporting the first view, then you can write former view. But here, if you are supporting, like some students can also support the idea of living in the countryside, that is your rural areas. So for there, you can write, instead of former here, you can write latter. Okay, so if you are supporting the latter view means the second one always. So if you are writing the latter, so here from urban settings we will write countryside. Okay. So if we are not supporting the first one, then it's letter. Okay. So this is the best way to change a question. Afterwards, so as you know, in this we have two views. So in this we discuss how to paraphrase the question. There are two views. Always remember, it will save your time in the exam when we already are familiar with the words, with the synonyms, which synonyms we are going to use. Like for think, we use believe, opine, deem. For some people, we have few people, few individuals, certain individuals, and we already know if we have to state our opinion, we can state it by writing former view or latter view, right? But there is also, like, we can also add some lines in the starting for the intro. Like here in this question we have two views. So for the two views, and two views, both of the views are opposite. Like living in the urban areas and living in the countryside, it's totally different. So as we know that two views are totally different, so what we are going to do is we will write there are two contrasting views. There are two contrasting views, whether living in countryside, whether living in urban areas is beneficial or residing in cities is a better option. So either you can simply change the question from the starting like some people, or you can also add some lines that can help you to save your time in the exam. And these are, there are two contrasting views where we have used whether with or. Like living in the urban areas, they have mentioned cities, and when residing in countryside is a better option. So urban areas and countryside is for rural areas. So in this way you can change the intro, and in the next part we are going to share the connectors which we have to use in our task 2. We are going to discuss about the body paragraphs BP1. Okay, so in this video also we are just discussing the connectors or the linking words that we have to use while writing an essay. Okay, so for the starting here we have to give the starting connector, that could be to commence with. Always remember to put a comma after the linking words, or you can write to start. Then we have to give the topic line. So here we will write about what? We are writing about cities. Cities in BP1, and living in the countryside or the rural areas in BP2. So firstly we have to give the topic line here. The topic line will be, there are many benefits. We will not write because we have one vocab word, that is myriad, which means many. There are myriad reasons why few people advocate living in urban areas. So as you can see, for the body paragraph, first we have to mention the first topic line. Like in the question, what they are talking about. In the first instance they are talking about the cities, so the cities word is highlighted by this, and the vocab word for many is myriad. For support I have used advocate. Okay, afterwards please remember we have to give 2 points in one body paragraph with one example. So here I'm not going to write firstly, as we have some better connectors. So for writing the first point, we will use first and foremost. Okay, instead of what? Instead of firstly. Okay, then you will give your first point, then you have to explain this first point. So to explain we have the connector to elaborate. Afterwards When you will explain this point, then we have to give example, that is for instance. Or you can also write, as we have to write very naturally and no complex words, so instead of this you can also write to give one clear example. Here will be your example. So like this is your first point, explanation. Then I told you that we have to give two ideas in one body paragraph. So for the second point, don't use always a secondly. You can use moreover. And yes, after this, don't forget to conclude this body paragraph by stating one more benefit of living in the urban areas. So for that we have hence. Don't always go for as a result, because we have a better word, that is, this is the structure for attaining a better score, and even this will help you to save your time, because we are already familiar which words we have to use, which connectors we have to use. First and foremost means the first point, which is very important. Then explain that point one, then give example, second point, and as a result. Okay, so now as we are turning to the body paragraph second, and we have to talk about the rural areas, why some people prefer living in rural areas. So firstly, we'll give the topic line for the rural areas, and the starting connector should be however, or it could be nevertheless, which is a complex connector. It means we are referring to something opposite now. Like firstly, we talked about cities. Now we are going to talk about rural areas. So the topic line will be, many people are drawn to rural areas for compelling reasons. Now I have used compelling reasons, and in the body paragraph 1 we have used myriad reasons. So now we have to give our first point. So directly don't start with the first point here. First give the second topic line, like the second thing which is stated in the question, that is rural areas, then compelling reasons. Now talking about the first reason, so the connector will be primarily. Here you will mention your point one, then now you have to mention, like you have to explain this point one. So for this we will be using to be more precise. It means here you have to explain the point one. Then we have to give the example. So it should be for instance. We will not use any complex word like to corroborate, to exemplify. We'll be writing very simple by writing for instance or for example. So here you will give your example. Then as you know, we have to give two ideas. This is our first idea. So for the second, we will use additionally, and then explain your point two. Then yes, the very most important thing is to conclude the body paragraph second by therefore. This is the exact structure of doing an essay, and in the next video we'll be adding ideas, discussing about which words we can use, enhancing your vocabulary, as well as taking you to the higher band score. Thank you so much.